Hello and welcome back to more of the Eden of Grisaia. I hope you all had a good weekend, but now we're back to the real world. Train ride from the city had taken about an hour and a half. The workshop they'd come all this way to visit had been manufacturing sporting goods since before the war. Along with traditional wooden equipment, they now produce cutting-edge fiberglass and carbon fiber goods. And apparently the reputation for equality had earned them a steady stream of business from professionals and Olympic athletes alike. Do they specialize in tennis equipment?
今ネットで調べてみたけど、今時ウェブページもないみたいだし、きっと頑固な職人の工場だね。
Bet they have a lot more business if they had a website. Stubborn old man.
勝手なイメージだけど、手広くやってないって意味ではちょっと好感持てるかも。
I mean, I guess.
で、タナトスさんが買ってくれるおもちゃってラケットなん？テニスでもするのかね。
ラケット以外にもゴルフクラブとかも作ってるらしいし、そっちかも。
Interesting.
ゴルファーになれっての？
タナトスさんは発注をかけたって言ってたし、何か特注のスポーツ用品じゃないかな。
ゴルファー、ゴルファー、ゴルファー？
マキちゃん？
ねえ、サッチン、ゴルファーは和製英語じゃんね。
Actually, we do.
そうだね。正確にはゴルフプレイヤーだね。
I mean, either or, right?
でもさ、テニスは日本でもテニスプレイヤーだよね。なんでテニサーって言わねえの？
Interesting question.
知らん。
Who cares? Sachi, cold as always.
セパタクローはセパタクラーなの？カバディはカバダーなの？
いや、知らん。
もう我ながらくだらん日本語をサッチンに覚えさせちまったもんだぜと今頃になって深く反省するイリス・マキナなのであった。
あ、マキちゃんあったよ。森島ラケット工業。多分ここみたいだね。
I wonder what awaits our girls inside.
お？なんか想像してたよりずっと綺麗な工場なのよさ。
あ、待ってマキちゃん、そっちじゃないよ。
なにゅ？
そっちは事務用の新社屋。私たちが行くのは工場がある旧社屋の方だよ。ほら、あっち。
お？
With a bright smile and a tilt of her head, Sachi opened her hand and indicated the relevant building with her palm. It was a beat-up, run-down old structure, most notable for the fact that it had apparently survived the World War II era air raids without burning to the ground. It seemed entirely possible that any attempt at opening the front door would end with you just holding its doorknob in your hand and watching as the rest of the decrepit old building crumbled into dust. That only happens in cartoons.
まあ、なんだろう。うまい言葉が見つからないけど、味わい深い建物だね。
I like it. Lured by the sweet bait of a present, they had apparently wandered into rather dicey territory. Could this be some sort of trap? Had that mysterious Thanatos character actually been setting them up all along? Right now, it's hard not to feel at least a little worried. Approaching the plain front door, which resembled that of an ordinary home, Makina found it was already partially open. Machine tools were droning away loudly inside the building. In an effort to be polite, she rapped her knuckles against the open door and called out to whoever was inside.
すみません。
However, the sound of the machine cutting through metal drowned out Makina's voice entirely, and no response was forthcoming. Poking her head inside to take a look around, she quickly spotted a man in a grimy white boiler suit. The man was sitting bow-legged on a wooden work chair with his back turned to the door, sparks flying all around him. In an effort to get the man's attention, Machina shouted again, more loudly than before. Well, they didn't know that. Not bothering to turn around, the man answered her with an angry roar. Jerk. I wonder if he doesn't get any business. From the sound of his voice, he seemed to be in his 50s, or perhaps a little older. Machina had always been rather intimidated by loudmouth adults, but for some reason or another, she'd become a lot less timid recently. Scowling a little at the man's hostile attitude, she turned back to Sachi and stuck out her tongue and said, "Well, guess I ticked him off." Sachi, for her part, answered with a mild smile that suggested she'd expected as much. It seemed fairly obvious they were in fact dealing with a somewhat hard-headed craftsman. In that case, there wasn't much choice but to wait patiently for him to finish up. Glancing around the room, they noticed an unoccupied wooden bench that seemed suitable. But as the two young women began to walk over toward it, intending to take a load off their feet, rising from his chair with a clatter, the man turned to stare at Machina and Sachi through narrowed eyes. Namae
Machina. Iris Machina. Irae no iri ni sugamo no su. Tanemaki no maki ni nappa no na.
ああ、イリス・マキナさんね。確かに受けたまわってるし、物はできてるよ。
あんたが山本さん？
ああ、そうだ。しかし、女が引き取りに来るとは聞いてたが、まさかこんなちびっこが来るとはな。
Rubbing the stubble on his jaw absent-mindedly, Yamamoto leaned forward to bring his face closer to Machina. Sensing something threatening about this movement, Sachi moved to stand protectively in front of her friend. Aww.
そんで、このメイドは何だ?
Sachi's look. I'm watching you.
こいつはサッチン、俺のメイド。
I don't think she's your personal maid.
なんかすげえ目で睨んでっけどよ。別に何もしやしねえっつの。なんか言えよ。
殺すぞ。
You wanna die, punk?
物騒な女だな。まあいい。おもちゃはこっちだ。ついてきな。
Remember that's what Fanato's told her to say? Yeah. Shuffling along in a less than imposing manner, Yamamoto led Machina and Sachi to the back of the workshop, where a prefabricated office shed had been installed. Although it felt a bit odd to see a little cabin sitting inside another building, they followed the craftsman through its door. After flipping on the lights inside, Yamamoto pushed back the leather sofa sitting in the middle of the room, revealing the cellar door underneath. Ooh. Now this looks familiar, doesn't it? The three of them descended a crudely made staircase into a space that might have been used as an air raid shelter during the war. This basement room was essentially a brick tunnel, but its walls were decorated with a wide variety of firearms. A number of work tables seemingly covered in junk were in fact equipped with quite a range of specialized machine tools. Speaking of World War II, a few days ago I watched the movie Grave of the Fireflies, and oh my god, that was the saddest movie I've ever watched. I highly recommend it. It's a great movie. I can't watch it twice, but I'll watch it once would be enough. It was an absolutely amazing film. Okay, back to the game. At a total loss for words, Machina licked her dry lips in amazement.
これがご注文の品物だ。確認してくれ。都合の悪いところがあったら今調整する。
Yamamoto picked up a soft jet black gun case and offered it to Machina. It was shaped like a rucksack and designed to be worn on your back. But if you opened all the side fasteners and spread it out flat, it could serve as a mat to lie on while you zeroed your weapon. Interesting. In its fully loaded state, the case weighed at least 20 kilograms. As Yamamoto deposited it into her arms, Makina staggered back slightly. Heavy.
なんだかおかしな発注をかけてきやがったとは思っていたがなるほどな。お前さんが撃つって言うならまあ納得だな。
開けてもいいの？
No. Not yet.
金はもうもらってある。そのおもちゃはもうお前さんのだ。好きにしな。
中身は何だろう。だいたい予想はつくけど、なんだかワクワクするのよさ。
Eager as a man removing a woman's clothes, Makina opened the case with quick practice movements. Just as she'd expected, it contained a truly fearsome and imposing piece of equipment.
うげ、なんじゃこりゃ。大仏かよ。しかも M82 とか子供しか喜ばないような大仏にマキナうんざりなのよ。
ガキが名前聞いてんじゃねえぞ。おめえみてえなガキでも使えるように改造すんのにいくら銭使ったと思ってやがる。
道具をケチるとろくなことねえのよ。どうせなら L115A1 が良かったのよさ。
ああ、やめとけやめとけ。AI 社は2005年に破産して買収されてからあんまりいい噂は聞かんぞ。
This guy knows his weapons.
じゃあ AMP の DSR1 がいい。
なんだ338ラプアが良かったのか。
弾はでかきゃいいって発想が嫌い。なんか考え方が雑。狙撃ってもっと繊細な作業であるべきだと思う。
言うことだけは一丁前じゃねえか。だがな、道具に文句をつける前にてめえの腕で何とかすんのがプロってもんだろうが。
Good point.
まあ確かにそうな。試す前にぐちゃぐちゃ言っても仕方がねえのよさ。つうわけで早速試させてもらおうか。
In here?
アホか。そんなもんどこで試射する気だ。
I was gonna say.
1キロ先のコンクリの壁に穴開けちまうようなもんをポコポコ試し撃ちなんかできるかボケ。
箱出しのまま現場持ってけってのかよ。
知るか。
Not
バ
my
ランスのせと
problem.
ボアサイティングは済ませてあるが、そっから先は使い手の仕事だろうが。
殺すぞ。
Sachi. We love you.
おめえは他の言葉知らねえのかよ。
つかさ、まず真っ先に突っ込むべきところをあえてスルーしてた
Wait,
けど。
it's really pink?
なんで
She really has a
ピン
pink
クに塗っちゃった
sniper
の
rifle?
よさ。
I was just joking about that. Come on. Pink weapon? That's like horrible. You don't want a pink sniper rifle on the field. You'd stick right out.
そういう発注だっただろうが。色はピンクがいいって言ったのはおめえじゃねえのかよ。
タナトスさんか。ピンクがいいって言ったのは携帯電話の話だったんだけどな。
今俺がここでしてやれるのはフィッティングぐらいのもんだ。直してほしいところがあったら今のうちに言え。
わかった。
Whoa. With a nod of acknowledgement, Makina lay down on the mat spread on the floor and assumed a firing position. Watching the girl work, Yamamoto let out a single sigh. Then took a cigarette from the breast pocket of his boiler suit, put it in his mouth, and lit it with a cheap purple lighter. Smoking's cool. No, smoking is not cool, kids. Don't smoke. It's horrible for you. If you do smoke, I'm sorry. As he exhaled the smoke from his first drag, Yamamoto let out a second, even deeper sigh. Once he got his money, he made whatever toy was requested. That was his job. You know, money in exchange for goods. Doesn't care what it's for, who's using it, he just makes it. It wasn't unusual for peculiar customers to stop by, and as a matter of policy, he didn't give a damn what they used their toys for.
動作に文句つけられちゃかなわねえから今のうちに言っとくが、発射後に自動で廃棄されないのは仕様だ。
Why? Is that to avoid like leaving bullet casings for evidence or something?
どういうこと？
ベースのセミオートユニットの動作自体は極めて軽快だがな。チビが撃つってことでリコイルダンパーを重めに設定してある。そのせいで廃墟不良を起こす。
Okay.
つまりだ、一発撃ったら自分の手でボルトハンドルを引いて廃墟し示弾を装填する必要がある。事実上のダブルアクションってことだな。
Responding vaguely, Machina pulled back on the rifle's bolt handle. With a metallic clink, the extractor grabbed hold of a plastic dummy cartridge's brass rim, then cleanly ejected it.
ボルトホールドオープンできないのか。
Peering into the chamber through the open injection port, Machina checked to make sure light was coming in through the bore. After picking up the dummy cartridge, she pulled out the rifle's magazine, loaded it, and returned it to the receiver. Finally, when she cocked the gun to feed the dummy back into the chamber, she returned to her firing position.
落とすよ。
As soon as the warning left her mouth, Machina did exactly that. The striker was surprisingly quiet, given the size of the rifle, but the spring resonated quite audibly. It did feel a bit like playing with a toy, but that was true of most unloaded guns.
ねえおっちゃん、スコープのマウントあと 2.5 ミリ下げらんない？
リングとレールどっちで合わせる？
The ring.
どっちが楽？
レール。
じゃあそっちで。
Okay.
レールのスラントは？
I don't know. Whatever you feel like doing.
お任せで。射距離は800から1400の間でお願い。
わかった。すぐ作ってやる。
Alright.
殺すぞ。
Shut up, Sachi.
なんだよ、灰皿持ってきたのか。だったらそう言えっつんだよ。たく。
Brought him an ashtray. You wanna die? Putting out his cigarette in the tray Sachi had brought him, Yamamoto headed for one of his work tables. 2.5 millimeters might sound small enough. For a long-range rifle, it was a major modification. Part of him was skeptical that Kid even understood what she was asking for, but when he glanced back at Irisu Machina, the deadly seriousness of her body language caught him by surprise. What the hell was a pipsqueak like her so determined to do? Even as he turned back to his work, the question continued to nag at him.
Oi,
I don't usually ask this, but what are you using the gun for?
ガキ2人いるけど、どっち？
おめえに言ってんだよ。
マキナ、覚えた？
マキナ。
何さん？
Damn kids.
俺みたいな仕事をしてるやつはこういう質問はしないのがルールだが、一つ聞いていいか？
いいだろう。
そんな物騒なもん作らせて何を弾くつもりだ？
知らない。
You don't know.
あ？
どこで何を撃つかなんて知らないし、興味もない。長生きしたけりゃくだらん興味を持つなってお兄ちゃんからは教わってるのよ。そういうのを考えるのはタナトスさんの仕事。
Saying a lot of information there. We should shut up.
タナトスさんね。まあそれを聞いて安心した。なら俺もこれ以上は聞かねえよ。てめえで組んだ銃の最初の的にされちゃかなわねえしな。
質問は以上かね？
もう一つ聞こ
う。Why pink?
構わんのよ。
何の目的があって武器を手にする？
女が武器を手にする理由なんて昔から決まってるのよ。夫を戦争に奪われ、鍋や釜まで取り上げられて、それでも大切な家族を守るため、 大切な人が帰ってくる家を守るために女は武器を手にするのよさ。タナトスさんがこんなものを私に与えて何をさせるつもりなのかはまだわかんない。でももう一人で泣きたくないし、大切な人の手を掴んで離さないようにするために私は自分にできることをする。そして大切な人が帰ってこられないというのなら迎えに行く。ただそれだけのことなのよ。
ほらよ。
お？
2.5 のローダウンレールだ。フィッティングはてめえでやりな。ボアサイターの使い方はわかるか？
あ、うん。ありがとう。
だったらさっさと済ませて帰れ。仕事の邪魔だ。
もう質問はいいの？
何が起きても責任取る覚悟はできてんだろ。だったらもう何も言わねえっつの。
何イラついてんのよさ。なんか悪いこと言った？
うるせえ。
Trying to distract himself from his irritation, Yamamoto reached into his breast pocket once again, but found it empty.
あ、くそ。
No more cigarettes,
タ
I'm
バコ。
sorry.
殺すぞ。
You shut up.
ありがとうよ。よく気の利くクソメイドだな。たくよ。
Snatching away the fresh pack Sachi had brought him, Yamamoto pulled out another cigarette and lit up.
いいかクソガキ。引き金を引く覚悟は立派だ。何も悩まず引き金を引けるならそれに越したことはねえ。だがな、考えない悩まないってのは思ってる以上に難しい。俺にはできなかったことだ。
何言ってんのか全然わかんねえ。
だろうな。あ、くそムカつく。あつかガキ相手に何マジになってんだ俺は。
つまりあれな、半端な覚悟で引けない引き金に指をかけんなってのと、引き金引いちまった後でうじうじ悩んで便所で自殺すんなってこと？
ああ、そうだよ。つまり何が言いてえのかって、いや、
人間は撃つなだろ。それはお兄ちゃんにも散々言われてんのよさ。
分かってんならもういい。お前ら帰れ。
You wanna die, punk?
もうなんなのよさ。
うるせえや。おめえを見てるとガキの頃の朝子を思い出してイラつくんだっつの。
え？何？知り合い？なんで？
うるせえっつの。いいからおもちゃ持ってさっさと帰れ。ほら帰れ。
ああ、もうなんだよもう。殺すぞ。
お前はもう黙ってろクソメイド。
Having erupted with rage for no apparent reason, Yamamoto chased Sachi marking out of his workshop like a pair of stray dogs and slammed the door shut behind them.
もうなんなのよさ急に。
殺すぞ。
Alrighty, I think that's enough for today. I will see you all on Wednesday and hope you all have a very good day. Take care.